Welcome to User Insights, a podcast series powered by UXArmy.
Hi, Arttu. Welcome to User Insights podcast. First of all, thanks a lot for making it. The topic today is pretty interesting. It covers about how to build products that users love. And in the role that you have of product management, I think it's something that you live by day to day, hour by hour. So before we start and dive into the topic, I would request you to introduce yourself so that the audience knows who they are listening to.
Thanks. Of course. Thanks for inviting. This is a really interesting topic, I would say. And I'm happy to be here. So I'm Arttu, co-founder, product manager of Trustmary. I've been in this role for 2 years now, but in the business we have been for 8 years, I think.
Okay. And so you seem to be in Finland. So which part of the Finland is this? Because Finland is seemingly, a country that's tall. So geographically tall. So do you come from north, south, or the middle? How does it?
I'm on the north point of Finland. So almost like the furthest point from Helsinki, which is the south point of Finland. So I'm only 2 hours from Arctic Ocean. The city is called Inari.
Okay.
Really nice place. We love living here. During the winter, we have a polar night for a little bit more than 1 month, but then in the summertime, we have a 24/7 sun for a couple of months. Really good nature. This time of year, we can see northern lights, and that almost like every week, etc. So, yeah.
Wow, fantastic place. Sounds like a fairyland.
If you like nature, you want to be here. That's right.
Yeah, I do have plans. Let's see when it's possible.
Anyways,
yeah, exactly. So I think let's talk about the topic at hand today. The topic is all about how to build products that people love. And I think it sounds very easy and nice. At the same time, it's very tough. I can imagine that. My first question to you is, how do you even think of building something like this in the role of product manager, where usually it can get quite busy with the day-to-day chores and so on related to the product and project?
For sure, it's a challenge. That's one of our actually, like we are using OKRs to set up goals and measuring things in Trustmary, and one of our objectives is like build an app that users love. So exactly our topic. So we have been thinking this quite a lot, but yeah, it's a challenge, and actually I believe it's like you never reach. Like it's a good objective, good goal, but it's also something at the same time that you never reach that. So you just always find a new level, like where you can get. Yeah, that's great topic, and really something that we put effort on at the moment.
Do you think there is this hard time balancing building things? That is it too high a goal as such? Because people keep changing habits, and it's never like they like one thing and then another thing comes, then people are busy with that. So how do you balance that?
That's one of the biggest challenges, and we also get a lot of feedback every day from our users. And let's say 2 years ago, it was more messy. It was bigger challenge. We hadn't, like, we didn't have that clear vision, like where we want to go, and then we didn't have that much structure, like what are, for example, the one structure we have created is that we have defined, like, okay, what is in the core of our product, and what is something like additional nice to have features in our product. That was like the one big change that helped me to prioritize things. Another thing this year has been like our ideal customer profile, like thinking in a way that we have better definition, like who is our ideal customer profile, and then also thinking through that like framework. Okay, should we focus on this feedback more or that feedback more? So then that's the one thing that has been helpful.
Yeah, I think prioritization is something that's challenging for most of us who are doing the role of product management. And I think prioritization can come in many shapes and forms. Is there any framework that you follow specifically from the list of frameworks available? I think there's a number of them there. Um, do you guys follow something, or you think based on your own situations?
Like, do you mean like for example, like how we prioritize our
Right.
work? Maybe I just explain like how we do things. So we get a lot of feedback, and then we try to organize that feedback into like customer problems. So we kind of associate every feedback to certain customer problem, and then we have those customer problems on our roadmap, kind of, and then we also have like vision where we want to go with our product for example, during this year. So then we kind of combine that information. Okay, we have this vision, and then our customers think that these are the most important problems that need to be solved. And then that's kind of the combination, like that data we use to prioritize that. Okay, these are the most important problems, and also these are actually linking quite well to our vision. And then we start doing kind of a little bit more discovery validation related to those customer problems, and then they will be converted into development project basically, and we start developing. I didn't like there are for like names for the concept, like that's something we haven't been developed by ourselves. It's something that we have been learning and reading, and then kind of adapting those theories to our work basically. You also look like how our roadmap looks, etc. So that maybe gives a little bit better idea.
Yeah, I think in most cases, the frameworks are built for a certain context. So don't always work as well. And like you rightly said, when you map a particular problem with the gravity of issue that it causes the user, as well as the mapping of your direction, where you want to, what's the company's strategy to develop this year, mapping it to a time frame. I think that's these are two parameters already which are pretty important or very useful to prioritize. So great points there and pretty practical approach, I would say. Um, in terms of even gathering this user feedback, what are the kind of channels that you use to get them to your desk?
Yes, we use of course we have many different ways how we get the feedback. I think before going to the channels, for me then like the main thing regarding customer feedback is that you need to keep the barrier low. So you just want to remove the friction around leaving the feedback. And basically, main channels for our case are, I think, our customer success people and sales people, because they talk with our customers every day, and a lot of discussions going every week, every month. So I have been encouraging them, providing them the most easiest way to provide and channel feedback to me, which basically is a Slack channel in our Slack. So that's where we get the most of the feedback. Every day there will be like, let's say, 5 to 20 feedbacks or ideas like what we could do better. That's the most important thing. Then we have customer feedback, customer review collection tool. So we use our own tool to collect feedback from our customers continuously and in different phases of their customer journey. So we actually started already after a sales meeting. So automatically they get the little question that, okay, how did it go, and do you have any feedback, etc. But then when they start using our product, then they will get those surveys every now and then. That's the one channel for feedback. Then, like, I'm sitting on those customer calls every week. I try to be involved as many calls as possible every week, and that gives a more qualitative approach. So I can ask questions. I can really understand what is the root problem we are solving here, etc. That's really important. We have feature request possibility in our app. That's our users use that also. I probably forget something, but as you can hear, that we have a lot of different ways for our customers to provide feedback.
Yeah, well. And whenever you are launching new features, do you go through a specific process of gathering feedback or validating the concepts and also the detailed design through certain ways and means?
Yeah, it of course depends. Like if it's a big new feature we are developing, usually the process goes that we first want to understand the customer problem 100%. We want to be clear, and then we might even validate and ask our customers that, okay, are we getting this right? Then based on that, we develop some kind of solution for some kind of MVP. It might be even like let's say a clickable proto, and then we have a call with our customers. Okay, can you try this? What do you think? Is this solving your problem? Then the next step is we try to get something live as soon as possible. We don't even try to make it like perfect, or we don't even try to get that live version to solve the problem fully. It just need to do something. Go, and then we start, like, that's our philosophy, that we try to get something live and to hands of our customers sooner rather than later, and then we start getting the real feedback from customers, and then we finish the project or the launch of new feature together, basically with some of the customers. Then of course, if it's a little fix for something, we just try to do it ready as soon as possible, and then put it live, and then we kind of measure, like, okay, how customers use it, etc.
Yeah, I think it's a good approach, which you mentioned, that to get the product as fast as possible out so that it can be validated. It comes with its own risk, of course, but then if it is not a life-changing feature or a feature that impacts the business a lot, I think it's worth the risk in some cases. So I kind of agree with their approach, and it's also an agile approach to get things faster. And get feedback on them as fast as possible. Another interesting situation that I'm sure you face in your work life as well is, how do you in fact balance various voices in the organization, because features is something that everybody feels strongly about, and while everybody wants that there shouldn't be a feature creep, but there's always an interest to have this as well, that as well, because competition has it, for example.
I think the main thing here is if you can like, whatever request you get, you need to be able to kind of associate that to certain specific customer problem. So a lot of those, like, strong feature requests or ideas, they might be even like dropping out because it's only an idea of our internal user. But if they cannot name the customer, like who needs this and what's the value for customers they get if we develop this, if we cannot like define and understand like what is the actual customer problem this feature solves, then we don't do it. So I think that's really important thing here, that it will kind of silence, like make a lot of that noise more silent when you link everything to the your ideal customer, or try to do it. Of course, the different thing is the vision. Like we want to reach something that our customers they cannot even think about yet. So then like I think it's our, like we try to get common understanding on that. For example, in our leadership team, that okay, this is the direction we want to go, and yeah, we haven't had like big conflicts on those matters, but at least some kind of advice to that challenge.
Yeah, I think if once in a while, if people are challenged to think, it works most of the times that people are rethinking then whether this particular thing actually makes sense, or it's just their strong gut feel about
Mm,
things.
yeah,
And most of the organizations don't have a solid mechanism in place. It's all about the dynamics. It's all about the soft skills of a product manager, which counts here a lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
And we are only a team of 20 people. We have a really straightforward attitude. I think we are like, the conflict is something that we don't really see a lot in our team. So yeah.
Yeah, and so in terms of using several tools, etc., in your work, what are the tools that you mentioned? Slack. In addition to Slack, what are the various tools that you use to, say, for example, to store customer feedback at one place? Um, I'm not necessarily needing you to name a tool, but essentially, what do you expect out of
Yeah.
such tools?
Yeah, I can name a few as well. So the Linear is the tool we use for managing a lot of things. Our like development projects, all the issues, support tickets, everything we manage in Linear.
Okay.
Then we also use product lane, or that's kind of, we are in the phase, so we are considering like if we use product lane for like what is the scale we use product lane for. We are in that kind of situation, but we currently use it for organizing the feedback, and it's very well integrated with the Linear, so it's nice. We use Figma for our designs,
Okay.
for a lot of our workshop sessions, that kind of stuff. I also actually manage our roadmap still in Figma, because it's so visual. You can see the whole roadmap easily.
Right.
What else? Then we have some tools for, and we have been actually switching between different tools for customer support, like chat and that kind of support actions. Yeah, at least those are a few to mention here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that stack, especially Linear. I also hear a lot these days because it seems to be that some people are replacing Jira with
Yeah,
Linear, and
yeah,
I think
we did
that.
the change in one day. Just,
Mm.
was it 2 years ago?
Uh-huh.
We just got introduced to Linear, and then our CTO, I think it took like one day, and we were using Linear after that, and we have been happy
That's good.
users since then.
That's
Of
good.
course, we use our own platform a lot for uh, also for like getting the feedback from our customers, and
Oh.
we are a review tool kind of, but the feedback part is also covered in our tool. So
Mhm. And how do you build, for example, differentiators, especially you're a review? I don't know if I should call Trustmary a review website, but how do you keep an edge over the competition? And it's a big question in itself, but I'm asking more from the lens of uh, user insights. How do you manage keeping an edge?
yeah, I think what our users really love in Trustmary, to mention a few things, we are kind of combining. Like previously, they used to have own tool for customer feedback. Then they had own tool for collecting reviews, and then they actually had their reviews all over the web, in different platforms, etc., and very difficult to manage all of that. And then they might even have different tools for displaying and showcasing those reviews on their website. So we are basically bringing all of that in. So instead of using 3 to 5 different tools, they can use one tool for managing all. I think that's the key. You get the feedback, you get the reviews, and you have tools to place them to your website, and then you get the reviews from other platforms also to Trustmary, etc. That's still something like it's kind of rare in the market. Then of course, like easiness. I was just reading our customer feedback. The most recent was the customer was saying exactly, okay, this has been the best platform for reviews. It's the easiest to use, integrates seamlessly, and your email updates provide incredible value. That was exactly the feedback from the most recent feedback. So yeah, the easiness is easy to use, I think.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's feedback is a double-edged sword as well, because sometimes it can also bias a lot in terms of thinking, because you may have, say, three happy customers and one customer that is upset, and then you may act much more upon the feedback. And if there is a feedback conflict between these two type of customers, then you may make a mistake of picking up the one which is louder voice or more negative
Yep.
or more positive. So how do you balance such kind of situations?
I
um,
think, first of all, we kind of make sure that, okay, we again come back to the thinking that, okay, who is our ideal customer profile,
well,
and uh, then the feedback of those customers. Um, every feedback is valuable, but I think the feedback from our ideal customer profile customers is more valuable than the feedback from others. So those who we ideally want to get to be our customers, so we value their feedback more. That might make already a difference. Then if it's still conflicting, I think the key is to understand, okay, what is actually like the problem the customer have. A lot of times it's not maybe conflicting anymore when you really understand, like, okay, what is the real problem here. A lot of times you might get a request, okay, we want this kind of feature in Trustmary. um, and a lot of times we had noticed that when we discuss with the customer and we try to understand the problem, we actually have even better way to solve that. And or it might be a lot of times it's already solved, but they just you find it, or that might be the option as well. But then in the end, you still might have uh, something that it's still kind of conflicting with your roadmap or something. Then you just need to say, okay, we really value this feedback, but unfortunately, it still takes. We don't know when we are able to solve this. That might be the case also.
yeah.
Sometimes I think the communication with the customer is really important and key key here as well.
Absolutely. And how do you make sure that the customer conversations are regularly happening?
I have been asking our sales and customer success people,
Mhm.
like if not every week, every month, okay, invite me to those calls. And now it naturally happens when we, for example, we just rebuilt our HubSpot integration.
Okay.
So now we have been implementing it to our customers. So then I just say to our sales and customer success people that, okay, going forward, like every customer who is going to start using the new HubSpot integration, invite me to those calls. So then we will be there with our developer to see like how they use it, how it works. So we kind of push ourselves to those discussions. That's the one way. Um, then I'm also doing a little bit sales,
Okay.
and that's also helpful. I have a sales background,
Mhm.
so that's like a lot of times product managers, they more have like a developer background. That's not me. I'm coming from a sales marketing side,
Yeah.
so it's kind of the easy for me. And I also think that the the product manager role is also quite a lot the same kind of role than the sales is. So you need to have those discussions with customers, and you need to be listening what their issues, what their problems are, and then you try to solve them. It's kind of the same thing what the salespeople do.
Yeah. In fact, I would say every role moving forward, especially with the onset of AI, every role needs to know how to sell and how to understand customers, because eventually sales is about understanding. And to me, as far as no matter which role you are in, if you know how to understand your customer, and the very important point you bring up is about ideal customer profile, I think these are the super valuable stuff that's out there. And what would be your advice to, in the same line, to the user experience researchers who are also thinking of making a transition to product management role? um, yeah, and what are your thoughts there?
Um, Maybe I should know a little bit more, like you like what kind of work the user researcher, like user experience researcher, do to give a specific. But uh, but I think the one advice to everyone becoming a product manager is that you need to be doing it together with your customers.
Mhm.
That's something like applies for all. You never have too many customer calls or customer discussions, but 99% of time you have not enough of those, I believe.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, Artu, I mean, your response, especially to this question, that what does a user researcher do, is already evident in the answer, that no matter what they do, they really need to get close with the customers, and that's what actually a user researcher does to a large extent. Although the main job of user researcher is to challenge assumptions, develop an understanding of, by asking the right questions, and also figuring out what could resonate with customers and why. So this is what typically a user researcher does, besides doing things like usability testing and working closely with product manager. But like you said it, it's always exactly at the intersection of understanding the customer and then
yeah,
see what makes sense for the business and the product.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter if you have like a ton of quantitative data or whatever numbers or statistics. You need to be in a close connection with customers if you want to understand the data in the right way. I believe,
You're
and
right.
like it's always a good thing to do.
Yeah, if I synthesize it all, I think it's about probably developing some skills of sales, in addition to which has been helpful for you, especially, and also applying, the regular approach to customers, um, in addition to the regular research methods, etc., which a lot of user researchers go by. So sometimes it can be impromptu and not really has to be formally defined as a research project.
Yeah.
Uh, that's how I hear you. Um, in terms of your own stories, can you share a story of your own, uh, where uh, where your approach to customer centricity has brought a very significant impact to the bottom line of the company?
Yeah, maybe I share like how we have been like changing a direction from like quite a lot actually
Mhm.
during the history of Trustmary. So we launched our software product in 2019.
Okay.
Um, and then we had the sales led approach then, meaning that most of the new customers came through sales meetings,
Right.
and then we made an annual deal with most of those customers. Then at some point uh, we wanted to start growing internationally, and then we thought, okay, we have possibility to build a sales organization in every different country in the world. So because it's so expensive, so then we switched to the totally other way, and we like decided, okay, a product led approach is the way to go international. And then we were successful with that. We have like users in, I think, 180 countries, and then we have paying customers almost in 100 different countries. So, but then we also noticed that, okay, if we really want to, because we are not uh, a product for one niche uh, little problem that we can solve easily. We had the difficulties to actually get those customers to really use Trustmary, like we call it Trustmary method. So like the whole thing from starting from customer feedback and to reviews, and then displaying them on the website, etc. So then now what we have been doing the recent months and a year, we have been kind of finding our way somewhere between. Like we have easy to use product that you can easily start using it, but then we also have a really good sales support and support to extend the usage um, of Trustmary, and that has been quite a learning curve. And so we were first going to that direction, then changing the direction. Totally different kind of challenges when you try to build a product led uh, product compared to sales led product. It's totally different word, and we have learned from a lot of those both ends. And now we are kind of trying to find our way there, like kind of the hybrid model, I would say.
Yep.
But what was the initial question? Actually, I always went so deeply.
No, I think it's all relevant, and I think it's the most important point here, which you already mentioned, is how do we get the maximum out of it, and like you mentioned, the ease of use, and the focus on the customer support. These are the
Mm.
two very important sources how you get a product to success. I was more talking about a story in your own career, which has caused a lot of impact onto the bottom line, and you said that it already helped change directions based on these two things. So in a way my question is answered, but of course feel free to add things that you want to add.
Yeah, those. Yeah, that's um kind of how I would summarize that is, okay, my I jumped to this product world from the sales and marketing track. I even was responsible for our finance stuff for a couple of years. So I have a totally different kind of background. But then my my natural role is to be kind of the one who develops things better, which is a quite good, I think, skill set for the product manager, because we always want to get a better product. So I think on those like learnings, like first going the sales led, and then believing that okay, we want the sales, then going to product led, and then seeing kind of that okay, how challenging it actually it is. It's like 100 times more challenging to build a certain feature uh, in a level that someone can start using it by themselves, like a self-service feature or product, compared to something that someone can use when the sales guy is like telling them what to do.
Sure.
So I think like those for my like those learnings in like going to totally different direction with our business model,
Mhm.
and then the skill that I have been developing in those previous roles, I think it has been a fruitful combination
Yeah, absolutely.
in this current
Yeah.
situation in my career.
Absolutely. I think sticking to your fundamentals, which is around customer centricity, is something that helps a lot of people, and I think that's advice a lot of people need out there in the industry, because we are moving from. I personally feel we are moving from a specialist kind of environment in product development to an environment which is more generalistic, and I think with all these AI and all these new technologies coming in, it's quite natural that the problem solving and working towards ease of use in the best interest of the customer are the skills that are gonna stay.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, we have been talking about like the difference in our developer team, that okay, what is the difference between a software engineer and product engineer?
wow.
uh, that
Yeah,
has been kind of the one thing we have been coming back every now and then and talk. We
yeah,
have discussed about that with our engineers, because that's like the product engineer, like in my understanding, is something that they really understand, like what is the actual customer problem we are solving here, and they are kind of solving things for the customer, not for like just creating a feature.
right.
uh, and yeah, that's like, I think nowadays you need to be more product engineer than a
Mhm.
customer or software engineer.
Yeah, you are spot on, and we are doing the same in UXArmy. We are expecting everybody to be customer driven and everybody to be product driven, rather than thinking about okay, I am a marketer. And it goes back to the story where somebody asked, I don't know if they were cleaning lady or cleaning man at NASA, and I think they said we are sending a person to a moon,
Mm.
and this person
Oh
was,
yeah.
yeah. So that mindset, I think, is even though the story goes dates quite back, quite many years back, but I think it still applies much more in today's context.
Yeah, I exactly,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. So thanks a lot. I think we are more or less at the end of this discussion, and it's been a pleasure to have you. Do you have any final things to add for our audience, Artu?
Yeah, maybe couple um maybe I recommend one book. It's
Okay.
quite a, I think many who are in this area already know, but it's a good book, like Marty Gagan's Inspired.
Okay.
That's like how to create tech products customers love. That's a really good book. Also, I've been listening him a little bit. I think that's helpful content. Um, I think like that's a really good rule always. Like get something live, get something uh, your customers can use uh, as soon as possible, and then make it better together with them. So be with your customers, spend a lot of time with your customers. It's always good. And maybe that's something those are kind of that's kind of my guide every day. So I just try to be with customers a lot. So it's difficult. It's a challenge because you have a lot of product manager role means that you will be talking with customers, but also with your marketing team and engineers and customer success people and the CEO and a lot of different stakeholders. But still, the customer, I think, is the most important.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's no market, no customer, then there's no customer, no market, and then the rest follows. So great advice there. Yeah. Please go ahead.
If you don't have customers, so then you need to have a prospective customer. It's the closest to customer you might have.
Absolutely. That's great advice. Thanks a lot, Arttu, for being with us and advising us on User Insights podcast. Really look forward to have more interactions like this with you in the coming time. And best wishes to you and best wishes to Trustmary. Have a good day ahead. See you.
Thanks. See you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of User Insights. We hope you gained valuable insights from our conversation.